Call to order the December 4th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. Please join me in the flag pledge. Pledge allegiance. Ms. Erickson, could you call the roll, please?
Dylan Duckworth,
Present.
Traffus, Kaluza,
Here.
Eink,
Here.
Aaron Duckworth,
Here.
Swaney,
Here.
Swenson.
Commissioners, you have the minutes in your packets. Are there any changes to the draft? If not, they'll stand as drafted. Announcements, Ms. Jensen, any announcements for tonight?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair. We have one handout. It is a revised tree inventory for the North Creek Second Edition. I can address that during my presentation. And then just for anybody who may be listening, Agenda Item 5A, which is a public hearing for a CUP for a convenience restaurant, will be tabled to the December 18th meeting. And Agenda Item 5C, which is a public hearing for a comp plan amendment and rezoning, the applicant has requested that to be tabled to the January 15th, 2026 meeting, so there will not be any presentations or formal actions on those items at tonight's meeting.
Very good. If there's anybody who wishes to speak tonight on any of the agenda items, if you could please sign in the back, we would appreciate that. With that, we'll move on to item 5B. This is a public hearing for North Creek Second Edition. Consider the application of KJ Walk, Inc. For a preliminary plat of 26 single-family residential lots and 27 detached home lots to be known as North Creek Second Edition, located east of Pilot Knob Road, CHH 31, and south of 173rd Street.
Mr. Chair, before we get to item 5B, I have a motion to table item 5A as
We do the
staff
motion.
pointed out.
Yes, we will need to actually table those two items when we get to
Formally do
them. And it's just a voice vote of the commission.
So, Mr. Chair, I have a motion to table the CA Commercial Development Conditional Use Permit application to the December 18th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
Second.
There's a first and a second. Anybody, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If not, the motion carries. From there, going back to what I prematurely did, let's go back to the public hearing for North Creek. If Mr. Israelson would be available to introduce the project, and then we'll have this city planning manager go through the project. Yep.
Thank you. I'm Warren Israelson, the owner of KJ Walk. This is the last phase in a bunch of projects we did there in Pilot Knob area. Kind of reflecting earlier that I started my career here in Lakeville 40 years ago, developing and keep coming back. And it's been great working here. We have a really appreciative staff. I have for 40 years, honestly. It's just been really good working here, and so I just keep coming back for more. And so this is the last chunk in that area, and so looking forward to finishing up this piece. Thank you.
Very good. We appreciate you keep coming back.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Jensen, if you'd like to. Very good. Ms. Jensen, if you'd like to go through the project.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is a public hearing for the North Creek Second Edition preliminary plat. It is, as Vice Chair Eink said, located east of Pilot Knob Road and south of 173rd. Few of you will recall that the original preliminary plat for the North Creek area was approved back in 2019. This area that's proposed to be platted was intended to be a second phase at that time, and for various numbers of reasons, it wasn't able to move forward then. The preliminary plat approval has since expired, and so this does need to come back for preliminary plat approval before it can be final platted. It is zoned RST2, for which single-family homes and detached townhomes are a permitted use. This is the preliminary plat. It is slightly different from the original preliminary plat that was approved for the site. That one had 47 single-family home lots. This one has been amended to add in rows of detached townhomes here, so there is now 27 detached townhome lots and 26 single-family lots. It's 53, an increase of 6 units, but the street layout is otherwise exactly the same. Encina Path, which currently is stubbed at this point, will be connected through to 175th, which ends here at Ely Avenue, and then there will be 174th Street constructed there as well. Stormwater ponds, were constructed with the first phase of the plat, so there is no additional ponding that is required. The property along the North Creek was deeded to the city with the first phase as well, so this is really just replatting that Outlot E. The landscape plan has the buffer as required along Pilot Knob Road. In this area be double rows of various evergreen type species. One of the stipulations of the preliminary plat report was that the tree inventory be updated. The one that was submitted included a number of trees that were either within the city's outlot or had already been removed. So I did receive the revised plan. That is what is in front of you. So there were 43 remaining trees within the plat boundary. And those are all proposed to be removed. I believe most of those were planted with some structures that were on site. So that is all I have for you. Staff does recommend approval of the North Creek Second Edition preliminary plat, subject to the 9 stipulations in the planning report as amended. As I said, I believe it's stipulation number 9, has been satisfied with the revised tree inventory, and therefore we do not need to continue that one on. I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Is there anybody who wishes to speak regarding the North Creek Second Edition? If not, do we have a motion to close the public hearing? Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? If not, the public hearing is closed. Commissioners, anyone with questions for staff or the applicant? Sure.
So my question is about a reference in the materials about the potential expansion of Pilot Knob. It said it was very unlikely, but if it were to happen, what would the setbacks that are suggested here be acceptable, be big enough?
I'm going to refer to our Assistant City Engineer Nelson as to whether there's expected expansion of Pilot Knob and how much of an expansion that would be, whether there would need to be additional right-of-way.
In the current Dakota County Transportation Plan, there's not showing the expansion within that 2040 transportation plan, but the right-of-way allocated is sufficient for their review that this took place under.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I motion to recommend to City Council approval of the North Creek Second Edition preliminary plat of 26 single-family residential lots and 27 detached townhome lots, subject to the 9 stipulations listed in the planning memo dated November 24th, 2025, as amended.
First and a second. Ms. Erickson, can you please do the roll?
Traffus,
Aye.
Kaluza,
Aye.
Eink,
Aye.
Aaron Duckworth,
Aye.
Swaney,
Aye.
Swenson, Dylan Duckworth.
Aye.
Very good. Ms. Jensen, when will this come to council?
Likely at our December 15th meeting.
Very good. Mr. Israelson, thank you very much for your project and hope it goes very well for you.
You can stay.
With that, we move on to 5B, or excuse me, 5C, which, as was mentioned earlier, the Lennar project has requested that this item be tabled. Is there a motion to table this item? Mr. Chair? Yes.
I'll second that.
The request from Lennar was received 2 days ago. We did update the Planning Commission agenda on the city's website, but obviously mailing notice of a tabling from Tuesday when we received the request would not have provided notice to the adjacent residents in time. Yes, yes.
With that, we move on to item 5D. This is a public hearing for the
Motion.
oh, sorry,
Did we
Got
take the vote?
There's a motion and a second.
moved on too quick. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Second?
Oh, I had already seconded, but
That's fine.
I'll third.
With that, is everyone in favor of the motion to table, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? If not, that item will be tabled and will be brought back forward before the commission on the January 15th meeting. Moving on to item 5D, this is a public hearing for the Compass Railroad Lakeville LLC. Consider the application of Compass Railroad LLC for the following located west of Highview Avenue and north of 225th Street. One, a comprehensive plan amendment to bring approximately 33.31 acres of land into the current MUSA district. And two, a comprehensive plan amendment to re-guide properties from the rural residential density to industrial and airport. And three, a zoning map amendment to rezone the properties from RA, rural / agricultural district, to industrial 2, general industrial district, and IA3 airport industrial district. Ms. Goodhue, if you'd like to run through this with us.
Thank you, Vice Chair, members of the commission. Sorry, that was a mouthful. Yes, so I'm here representing Compass Rail and the MAC. We have worked through an annexation of the property, and so the request really was to annex the south property. So the city council approved that, probably going on 2 months ago. I went and asked the MAC to include their property, just so we had a nice squared-off area that would be annexed. So that annexation was finally approved. So now that we have the annexation approved, we need to go through the comprehensive plan and the rezoning for the properties. So the amendment is to bring both properties, the two triangles, they are 33.31 acres in total, into the current MUSA. And again, that annexation was approved by the state on November 5th. The reason for the annexation of the Compass Rail property is to create a rail car storage yard. So this has been an effort that the city has undertaken over many, many years. Ultimately, the rail car storage yard will be built, hopefully next year, in cooperation and participation with Progressive Rail, so it's kind of a partnership. Compass Rail will build the facility. It will ultimately move the rail cars that are sometimes stored along County Road 50 to the rail car storage yard. So again, there's a many sequences of steps. We needed to get this property into the city limits in order to do that. So every time we have an annexation, that property then is just assumed and deemed rural density guided. And so we need to have a land use amendment and then a subsequent rezoning to bring those properties into conformance with the use. So the south property, we're proposing guiding that for I or industrial. Then the MAC property, we would guide that airport as the remaining property are. Nothing will happen to the MAC property. That will remain vacant. And yes, they are aware of this change. They participated in the annexation by signing an agreement, and they know about the subsequent re-guiding and zoning. Then for the zoning ordinance, we're proposing I-2 for the Compass Rail site or the South Triangle, and I-1 for the north, or I-3 for the north, to be consistent with the other MAC property. So that, in a nutshell, is what we are requesting tonight. And I would stand for any questions.
Very good. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody who wishes to comment on this item, please come forward. Assume there's nobody online as well. With that, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Mr. Chair, I motion to close the public hearing on this matter.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
With that, the public, sorry. For all those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? With that, the public hearing is closed, and start with a quick question that I had on reading this. We talk in terms of Progressive and then Compass. Is there a corporate relationship between Compass?
Yep.
Do we know what that is?
You know, I'm not involved in the nitty-gritty of all of the details. Compass Rail is a Texas firm that will be operating the rail car storage yard, but in cooperation with Progressive Rail.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just had a question for Ms. Goodroad. This has been a long time coming. I thank city staff for all their work. There's been a lot of players in this on many levels of government to get this done. And I think this is just a great location for it, especially, closeness to the airport. It's zoned, industrial, but could you maybe talk to us about like the limits of what actually can go next to the airport? I know you can't really build like a real big industrial facility or tall building, so the rail car here is one of the only things you could do as opposed to an open field.
Yes, thank you. So a rail car is very compatible for this property being close to the airport. There are height limitations when we're dealing with any buildings immediately adjacent to the airport. There may be in the future a maintenance building that we would have to work through. I think that from a maintenance building standpoint, the height limitations we would be fine with. But ultimately, Compass Rail would like to be able to add that. So then rail cars can be repaired, bring jobs to the area versus just a storage yard. But something like that we can work through with those height limitations.
Yeah, I think it's just great here because, just because of the federal airport regulations, you want that kind of safety path leading into and leaving from that runway. It's not land that can be developed. You can't put a big warehouse there or something. You're not building homes right leading up to the runway. So this was a really creative solution that a lot of people worked on, and I'm really excited to not see rail cars throughout the city now.
Yep.
So thank you very much to you and all the staff that have worked on this.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Ms. Goodroad, concerning the path to the rail yard, there is one railroad track there that you can see. Is that sufficient to service this area, or will there have to be additional railroad tracks?
There'll be tracks that are within the property, but to get to it, this will be sufficient, as my understanding.
Great, thank you.
Are we ready for a motion? Or are there additional questions?
Mr. Chair,
Move to recommend to City Council approval of the comprehensive plan amendment to bring approximately 33.31 acres of land into the current municipal urban service area, or MUSA, and the comprehensive plan amendment to re-guide properties from rural residential density to industrial and airport, and the zoning map amendment to rezone properties from RA Rural Agricultural District to I2 General Industrial District and I3 Airport Industrial District, and the findings of fact dated December 4th, 2025.
Second.
Ms. Erickson, can you do the roll?
Aye.
Aye.
Aaron Duckworth,
Aye.
Swaney,
Aye.
Swenson,
Aye.
Dylan Duckworth,
Aye.
Traffus,
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As was mentioned, I hope that this takes care of some of the railroad issues here in a couple of years where we don't have painted up railroad cars parked throughout our neighborhoods. With that, you have your announcements and staff notices, and if there's nothing else, we are adjourned.